Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
What's up? What's good? Welcome back to First Cut Live. Obviously, we had a little bit of technical difficulties beforehand, but we are back talking about your favorite movie news and the big movie news that has come out this week. I'm here with my starting lineup, my center, my shot blocker, my 7'5" unicorn, Sabrina Ramirez. What's up, girl?
Hi, doing great. You know what it is. Hey, RV3, is it working?
Oh, now you're muted, bro. It's perfect. It's all
now
coming
it's
back
working.
around.
It's working.
The stream is working, and we are back. Super happy to be here again on this Thursday. Super passionate about these topics today, so I'm excited to get into all of that with you guys, and happy that everybody can see and hear us. So let's go.
And obviously our MVP, our power forward, our Mr. Technical Man himself, RB3's in the house, doing the job, doing the most.
They call me Mr. F up if you want. I mean, I don't know what. I really don't know what this. I really don't know.
You're the tech guy. You're the scientist. You're the.
I know. Shout out to
Dwayne.
You're the one
making all the formula.
Shout out to Dwayne. Helped out. Came in clutch last. You know, and gave some tips. So he texted me now. He just said it's solid, just solid. So shout out to Dwayne. Big shout out to Dwayne. Big shout out to everybody who watched our Sabak the Block on Tuesday as well. That was an amazing episode too with Matt Damon, Alex Damon. I think a better looking Damon than Matt Damon, if you're asking me. At least Alex Damon doesn't get mixed up for like Mark Wahlberg, you know, like that. At least like that, you know, he got that, you know what I mean. So that was a great episode, and I guess what I was also saying before. You know, everything was going crazy. I was also on the Rotten Tomatoes podcast this week as well. Be sure to check that out. That's on my Twitter as well. So that's dope as well.
Yeah, and obviously everyone right now in the chat, from MK Songbird to Helsing747 to Xenor Hour, we appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for coming here. Let's get right to it, to the movie news, since we spent so much time just BSing and trying to fix things and get things going. And talking about basketball, which Sabrina does not care about. Let's talk about what we do care about, which is the WB announcement today that we hope it's not. I hope it's not April Fool's, because I feel like that'd be in poor taste if this was an April Fool's joke.
No way. It is not.
I don't think it is either, because Ava DuVernay tweeted it out and a couple of the writers did. But then again, they could be in on it too, but I doubt it. I doubt it goes that deep.
Oh, no.
Yeah, what the news is, guys, is that the Ava DuVernay directed New Gods movie that was set to be for the WB DC universe has been pretty much just suspended altogether, as well as the Trench movie directed by James Wan, which was supposed to be the horror underwater movie that James Wan was creating for them, have both been scrapped pretty much altogether. I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised. I feel like there's so many things currently at the table that a lot of people have been kind of ignoring at Warner Brothers and other studios as well, that to me have always felt like, is this even going to happen? Like, I always felt that way. Everything gets stuck in like pre-production and in development. Isn't there supposed to be like a Mr. Elastic Man movie? Like, that thing was announced like 4 years ago. And the Attack on Titan movie was announced 5 years ago, and that's another Warner Brothers thing. And obviously I have a special investment in that one specifically, if you guys know anything about me altogether. But either way, I want to get your thoughts first, Sabrina. Your thoughts on Ava DuVernay stepping aside, and obviously James Wan as well.
There is a lot to unpack here, because obviously Warner Brothers, there's been so much going on. We have the Amber Heard situation. We have Ezra Miller. We have the Snyder Cut. There is so much. And obviously Ray Fisher as well. I did see an article where they kind of blamed the Snyder Cut a little bit. They said like, oh, Darkseid's in this film. We wanted to have like more space between it. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because they're like, okay, Snyder Cut is not canon. So then why would it matter if we do see him again? Also, we didn't really get that much of the character in Snyder Cut. We got a little tease. I feel like Snyder Cut would entice people almost to like want to see more of Darkseid. But I don't blame anybody besides Warner Brothers. I'm not surprised as well, because I think they're the ones that have been messy for so long. They have no foundation. This is something I've talked about for a while, because I love DC, but I do not love the DCEU. I don't love any of the movies. I like a few of them, but overall it's not stuff that I ever want to like revisit, which is so disappointing for me because I think they had a lot of great things in their hands and they just kind of didn't lay that foundation out. They didn't get enough people to care. It's one thing about getting like hardcore fans in to see the movie, but it's also about the general audience and people who might not be as interested in these or not know about these characters. So when we're talking about New Gods, we're talking about like the trench stuff. People don't know about these characters. But if you have an amazing filmmaker behind it, which they did with Ava DuVernay, then that's like a recipe for success. You have them working on something that can be so interesting, can be compelling, and bring in that audience. I just feel like they keep announcing projects, directors, release dates, and they have nothing to back it up. Exactly what you said earlier about, they're like, Black Adam, we've been hearing about it for so long. Now it's kind of picking up steam. Okay. I don't know anything. I'm not even going to pay attention to anything. I don't care about cast announcements until I'm seeing the actual film. Don't believe anything DC is announcing or Warner Brothers is announcing until they're in production because, whew.
Yeah, so I'm so glad you said that, Sabrina, because I wasn't sure what you're going to say when it comes to that. But the fact that there's so many people on Twitter really being like, this is what you guys got, you Snyder cut bros, and it's because of you guys. And I'm like, really? We're not going to blame the massive multi-billion-dollar corporation who literally planted this on purpose. This is a plant, guys. Like, I follow the NBA trades. This is something I do for fun. I don't know how much RB3 does this, but in ABA trades, they do the same thing. They do like, oh, we're looking at Kyle Lowry. We want to get Kyle Lowry. No, they don't. They're just doing this to either drive up prices or get other people to drive in for him. This is all a play. They're literally setting you guys up to basically fight amongst yourselves and say like, oh, well, you wanted the Snyder cut. This is what you get. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. This was a movie that was greenlit way before the Snyder cut. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand how people are falling for this corporate BS because that's what it is. It's corporate BS sold to you by Warner Brothers. They're literally selling you this. They have experts in advertising and marketing. I'm pretty sure they're good at this. And they could just be like, well, we ran out of money. All the money's gone. Poof. It's there it is. It's gone. So we had to pick and we had to let them go. That's not how it works, guys. This is just not how it works. I'm definitely disappointed, specifically about the Ava DuVernay New Gods, because that's it's like New Apocalypse and New Gods and all this story is like most people don't know about it unless you are a hardcore DC fan. I happen to be one of them, but I really love the story of Orion and the New Gods, and obviously Big Barda is one of the biggest examples of that. It's one of my favorites in DC. It's very Jack Kirby, obviously, is one of the biggest inspirations for that, one of the biggest creators in this world. DC Comics, to me, has always been special, and I would love to see this in live action. So that's very disappointing to me, but it's also a little bit frustrating to Sabrina and RB3. I'll toss this to you. The fact that it is Ava DuVernay and James Wan.
They don't deserve her. They don't deserve Ava DuVernay.
No, but I'm saying like the fact that it is literally like two people of color, one of them a black woman, who gets axed versus like everything else that did not get axed. I think there's a little bit of a trend there that I feel like Warner Brothers doesn't get enough beef for.
Yeah, I will. So, I mean, it's funny because we're coming into this week. I was actually going to come into the week and applaud Warner Brothers, for, I don't know if y'all saw, they signed Issa Rae to a $40 million exclusive deal for her production company for like her television rights, and the first look deal for her film rights, $40 million. I think that was a huge accomplishment. I was going to also give him a pat in the back because it looks like Barry Jenkins' first look deal, I think he had with Paramount, is now moving over to HBO and HBO Max. So at least for me, at least appear like they're making two good moves back to back, securing really amazing black talent. But you know, when it comes to now losing Ava DuVernay for New Gods and James Wan's The Trench, which to me the Trench one really doesn't make that much sense to me because we've already seen how many cinematic universes James Wan can create, right? Like how many cinematic universes has this dude made from Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, which has like 800 spinoffs. Yeah, so
what are you trying to say though? Like all of them have been like massive success.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why was Warner Bros. Decision like, not doing that.
To me, James Wan is money. Everything he's ever made, Furious 7, Saw franchise, Conjuring franchise, they're all some of the best, biggest original franchises we have. I think James Wan is pure money, bro.
Yeah,
I'm surprised anyone underestimates him. Yeah.
Like for real, like they're axing two incredible filmmakers that could honestly do a lot of really great stuff for the DCEU, and they're keeping a lot of like. This is something I was saying earlier. I was saying they need to like restructure. They need to just like completely get their stuff together. We have multiple Jokers. We have another Batman movie coming out. There's just so much happening that they need. That's like what they should be worried about. They should be worried about the characters that they're kind of introducing, the through lines between a lot of these films. Cause like I saw one that said like the Flash is one of the keys. I'm like, okay, but what about Ezra Miller's stuff? Like you're not going to say anything about that. There's just a lot that they have to deal with. And even if they didn't come forward 100% and say, this is the result of the Snyder Cut, of course, that's what a lot of the internet is saying. And the internet is like going back and forth. And I think I'm not even out of everybody on the screen today, I'm the one that likes the Snyder Cut the least. And I just found that to be the most ridiculous thing to blame the Snyder Cut or to even like take any blame at all because the DCEU has laid absolutely no groundwork or no foundation for this cinematic universe. It's not going to work. If you don't create a foundation that everything can stand on, it will crumble and it will fall apart. And that's kind of exactly what's happening right now. And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is interesting as far as organization, right? Because I feel like there's been so many things in development and that have been projected to be happening that never really took place. I'm curious about Aquaman 2. That's my first question is what's going to happen with Aquaman 2? What's going to happen with Amber Heard? What's going to happen with, like you said, obviously the Flash, which they're making right now. So it should be there. But there's so many things like I got corrected. It's Plastic Man, not Elastic Man. Sorry, guys. Also, there's an Emerald Fennell Zatanna movie that's supposed to be in development now. The Black Adam movie, which is supposed to be a big deal that is actually being, chugging along, right? As far as production goes or pre-production. I'm curious. I'm just curious because I feel like a lot of the stuff, they're just kind of being like, you know what? Let's scrap this, scrap that, do this, do that. But the longer they wait to be all in on certain things, the worse the product usually has as far as success. I'm specifically talking about Aquaman. Aquaman is a movie that made a ton of money, that a lot of people liked, and that deserved a sequel. And we've been waiting for a sequel, but so many things have been up in the air as far as the trench, as far as what's coming next, that we never really got here's what's happening, here's when it's happening. We mainly got just like, hey, it's happening. We don't know when, but it's happening. So I don't know. You're
saying. Yeah, everything you're saying, even about like Emerald Fennell's like project, there's so much that they've always like announced. Like we have like the Peacemaker show, we have obviously the Suicide Squad. There's so much. I remember like at one point announced like Nightwing. Of course, we had like Batgirl, Deadshot. It just feels like so much of this is like falling flat. And they need to stop just announcing like directors and people behind the project and release dates and characters that they want to work with. Like restructure yourself, get yourself organized.
Yeah, that's always been my stance. And people who've watched SCN have known me to say this, like just stop announcing things, don't announce things. Like, like just let things happen. Like Marvel didn't get to where Marvel is by announcing a bunch of stuff early. Like they really got, for the most part, Marvel's thing has been secrecy until recently. Like people think like their whole announced the release schedule thing really only started when they were like at the top of the game. But Warner Brothers can't act like the top of the game, act like they're at the top of the game right now. Neither can Sony, and this is Sony behavior. You know what I mean? Like, this is some real Sony. I hate to keep going at Sony. I don't know. Maybe one day I might need some money from Sony. But this is Sony behavior. Like, you remember when they had the Spike Lee Spider-Man project that they had in development, the Gina Prince Bythewood, friend of the show, project that they had in development. They just go off and on. I mean, out of like 10 projects, maybe 2 get made, but that's just Hollywood in general, though, to some extent. You know, Guillermo del Toro talked about that a little bit too. He's talked about how he just gets announced for a bunch of stuff. But for new guys, for me, like, I don't blame this on Snyder Cut, because personally, I thought the Snyder Cut got me probably more excited for the whole New Gods thing, honestly, because they literally introduced like Zeus and like all these things that just literally weren't in the original cut. So I would have been down to see like a continuation of that through the perspective of Ava DuVernay. And of course the Trenches, like I said, I don't know why they wouldn't want to work with James Wan. James Wan has made Warner Brothers a lot of money. But again, maybe it is just to focus on Aquaman 2. Maybe Aquaman 2 is going in a slightly different direction that's more narrative driven. Maybe they want to get all of these things like interconnected. But I don't know, at the same time, like, you know, they can't put the cart before the horse. Like, and that's always the problem. That's always the problem with these movies. They always want to do more and extend out more instead of focusing in on what's successful. And it seems like to me, the successful play would have been to keep the James Wan Trench thing going, at the very least. So
it's interesting, guys, because I'm watching Invincible. Have you guys seen that show?
I haven't started it yet, but I want to.
It's violent. By the way, Meltdown this week was sponsored by Invincible, Amazon Prime's Invincible, so make sure you go check that out on the network app.
But Invincible, like, clearly Robert Kirkman, I mean, he can't deny it. It's literally the Justice League. When you first see the episode, this is all based on DC Comics. And obviously the premiere of the Justice League, which was in the late 90s, I believe, the animated series was a massive success. But people literally go back now, if you go on YouTube and rewatch Batman the Animated Series. They rewatch Superman the Animated Series. They rewatch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Some of the best storytelling in superhero fandom you can watch is in those stories. And it's being told. It's not just in the comics. It's actually being told. Obviously, it's animated, but it's still there. A lot of the animated films, a lot of people also have a lot of respect for it. I'm sorry, guys, but if I'm being honest, and I think I've said this before, but I haven't said this in years, but DC, if I had to pick between DC and Marvel, I'm picking DC 100 times out of 100. DC stories are better. DC characters are better. It's just better. It's just there. Superman is king. Batman is dope. These are characters that people love and have loved for years. And even the side characters, people have loved, that they even made an entire show, Invincible. I saw Invincible and I was like, this wouldn't exist if it wasn't for DC Comics, if it wasn't for DC stories, if it wasn't for Justice League, the animated series. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I find so much beauty in these stories. And I've been told, like, you remember that, right? RB3 back in the day when it was like DC versus Marvel, and I got tweeted at, like, you hate this stuff. And I'm like, bro, there's not a bigger DC fan than me. Trust me. I love DC. And my thing is, like, much potential here that I feel like they just need to trust it and then tap into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they can do it, right?
100%. And there's totally an audience for it. And like I said, if you have filmmakers that, first of all, are talented and care about the projects like James Wan does with everything, then people are going to want to see it. If this is a compelling story, even if they don't know what it is, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. People didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was. And on paper, it's like this weird idea, weird premise, and it completely worked and audiences ate it up. You could totally have that, but they're like afraid to take risks, I guess. Like anything that might be a little bit weird, they're like, I don't know, is our audience smart enough to like figure out like multiverse stuff and like all these other different ideas? And it's like, just trust them. They are. Just present it in a specific way that is, first of all, entertaining, good, compelling, like, and then you're fine. That's all you have to do. That's the recipes for success. And for some reason, they just keep faltering in that department.
Yeah. What do you think, RB3?
Nah, I mean, I'm just, hey, yo, Cinema Gorilla, man. I love you, my brother. But you gotta chill out in this chat. Right? You don't kill our algorithm. Oh, freak, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, Cinema Gorilla, you don't kill us, bro.
Can't say the A word.
But I appreciate the love and support. Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, going back to this. I mean, to me, what really stands out is, you know, Marvel's doing the Eternals that's coming out next year. The buzz around that, just based off the fact that Chloe Zhao is gonna be winning the Best Director Oscar this year, like, you know, literally, and you know, the hype for Eternals is just gonna be like out of the ballpark. And I think when people see it, people are gonna love it. Like, to me, like, this would have been the perfect opportunity in the same way that, you know, DC had cashed out on the hype of Guardians of the Galaxy and went with the Suicide Squad, and that ended up being a hit too. Like, you know, I think this would have been an opportunity to introduce something new. Like the Eternals, nobody's going to hear about the Eternals. Nobody's going to know about the Eternals, but it's still going to be a hit. A, because it's Marvel. B, because it got a good cast. And C, because I'm sure it's going to be a great movie because it's going to be because it's directed by an Oscar-winning director. So we know those things are going to be true. We know Ava DuVernay is at least 2 or 3 of those things. She may have not won an Oscar, but she like is. Her movie has been nominated for Best Picture. Selma was nominated for Best Picture. She's won mad Emmys, all that kind of stuff. So highly acclaimed. This is a property that nobody knows about, but it had at least the potential to have a good cast. I don't know. I just feel like all the plays are right for especially new guys to happen in this era, and to see that voice, to see the voice of Ava DuVernay get that kind of a big budget again after a regular time. I just would have been happy to see it. But you know, I'm curious on what direction DC is going to go. I just really hope that they move towards a direction that's like consistent, not towards a direction not towards a direction that's going to be overly director, overly like studio handsy involvement, you know, kind of thing. I don't want to see them go in that direction. So.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? The fact that I still feel like all of this started because of Warner Brothers' fear of the MCU, right? Where they were so afraid of not being like the MCU, and realizing, like you said, RB3 last week, it's the Justice League. It's literally like the biggest superhero team up ever. Most people, I'm shocked by Marvel, right? Because Marvel did something where they took a character that most people didn't even know, like Iron Man, and made him the central piece of their story. And then they took up their superhero team up, which was the Avengers, that again, a lot of people didn't know, and made that their big centerpiece film, blockbuster film. And yet I still feel like DC's characters and stories in the comics is still there's so much richer, in my opinion, and there's so much more potential there. That I feel like there's still so much there that I feel like if Warner Brothers didn't blink when Marvel was coming at them 100 miles an hour, and they blinked, they were like freaking out. They were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We got to get rid of Zack Snyder. We got to do this. We got to hire Joss Whedon and make it like Marvel, because Marvel makes a lot of money and he made a lot of money for them. So let's hire him. And that led to like a lot of weird and bad decisions. That to me, I felt like if they just kind of kept going, you could see the numbers kind of speak for themselves when you see the Man of Steel numbers, as far as like box office, I mean, to the BVS numbers. It was a significant step up.
Yeah, step up. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm saying, like, you could see like audience got slowly more interested in the story, which is why the Justice League was so disappointing. But obviously that's a story for another podcast.
Also why Wonder Woman made almost $1 billion too, by the way. That's
exactly.
also why Wonder Woman
that's another thing that people forget is what he did with casting her, and greenlighting that film for Patty Jenkins. I guess my point is, it's frustrating to see that they blinked, and when they blinked, they were just like crinkling up papers and like throwing it out the garbage can and being like, I don't know what to do. Like, I guess let's get rid of everything. Let's hire you. Actually, you're fired. Actually, you're rehired. It's like, what are you doing? It's just frustrating, guys. It really is.
I feel like DC is most successful when they go in the directions of, I don't know. I feel like DC's most successful when they go in the direction of letting directors just tell stories and not like getting in the way. You know, Joker appeared to be successful. You know, whether you love it or hate it, made a lot of money.
How much money? Yeah, it made a ton of money.
And they
got critical
and they
acclaim,
didn't want to make that movie. And they didn't want to make it. They were so against it.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, it looks like the Suicide Squad. I mean, I know y'all saw the trailer for that. I think the trailer was super dope. I'm excited to see where that's going to go. And that just also, it just seems like from the outside, it seems like something they were a little more hands off on. So I like when they're a little more hands off with the properties. I like when they get A-list directors that just go full into like this mythology. So
also like Matt Reeves' Batman film, like the Batman with Robert Pattinson. That's another cool thing. I feel like from the footage that we saw, there was only a little bit shot for the film, and I think they only said like 20% or something like that. It still looked great at DC Fandom, and just hearing Matt Reeves talk about the project, again, like I said, get these passionate filmmakers, people who understand what they're creating. It's just like announcing like Emerald Fennel like so early on. It's like, keep it under wraps for like a little bit and make sure this is actually going to play out, because come on, like how many times has this have to happen already? But yeah, I agree with you 100%, RB3.
I also just feel like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just also, I love and I hate how in Hollywood, like, the next step, the promotion is like, oh, they got a superhero film. Oh, they just got an Oscar nomination. Yeah, you just got a superhero film, buddy. Congratulations. You're on the next level. Like, they got to stop it.
I mean, it is low key what it is now, right? As far as like, it is kind of the formula as far as Hollywood making money. Let's make a superhero movie and let's try and make a lot of money because a lot of people will go see it. So I feel like that is a formula. I just think it's funny what Sabrina's saying, where it's like, they're like, Emerald Fennell, yeah, hi, do you want to write Zatanna? And she's like, sure. Okay, cool, we're going to tweet it out, by the way. And it's like, I haven't even started writing. And it's
that's like, literally just
she doesn't even have a draft. She literally is like, I guess I'll start writing.
It's just like 2 seconds. Like there was maybe like a quarter of a pitch there, and they're like, "Yep, you're hired. You know, you're the next big thing."
I don't even think there was. I honestly don't think there was a pitch. I really do feel
like,
I'm serious. I really do feel like it happens when there's that much of a talent and you see it there. I've seen it happen before, where Hollywood studios will go up to you and say, "Hey, do you want to write a movie about a talking raccoon, or do you want to write a movie about? Do you want to make a you know what I'm saying?" Like. Sometimes they just go up to you and ask you, hey, do you want to write about this character? Or they ask you, what character would you want to write about? But I don't even know if there was a pitch. I think they just went up to her. They're like, hey, we want you to write a DC superhero story. I'm serious. Like, I really do feel like that's what happened.
And I mean, you know, we said a lot of stuff on that topic, but like the stuff that I love to hear, I do love to hear cast news for stuff that I'm genuinely trusting. And I see somebody in the chat talking about Stephen Yang in the next Jordan Peele movie.
April Fools, fam. Y'all falling for it. Now I'm playing.
No.
That was
oh my God.
April
Okay.
I don't know.
No, it's not. Why would it be?
It could be.
No, they already announced like Daniel and like Kiki as like being in talks. I also heard like something about Jesse Plemons a long time ago. Yeah. But this would be an absolutely incredible cast. Can you imagine Jesse Plemons, Stephen Yen? I love Kiki Palmer so much in every single thing. I've been wanting her to like step out and be in more again. So to see her possibly like team up with Jordan Peele, amazing. I'm all 100% in for that.
And Jesse Plemons is like a once in a generation kind of evil actor. You know what I mean? Like that dude could just do evil like way too good. And I don't know, it seems like whatever he's in, especially if he's in the Jordan Peele movie, you know he's about to be the bad guy. You know he's about to be the bad evil white guy. And I just can't wait to see him just chew that up. Also, I mean, also Kiki Palmer, I mean, I don't know, was I the only one who watched VP? What was her show on Nickelodeon?
No, True Jackson VP.
True Jackson VP. Yeah. Oh man, now that was the stuff back in the day.
She's amazing. She had like Jump In. The Jump Rope movie.
Corbin Blue.
True Jackson. Yes, with Corbin Blue. She had True Jackson VP. She had Aquila and the Bee. She had like classics after classics. She just kept coming out with those hits. And then she was in Scream Queens. And then I feel like she just she was doing a lot of like hosting stuff.
The View,
and I've seen her like active on like social media. But I'm happy to see her like in films again. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Kiki Palmer. I can't think of her without thinking of that Drake song. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Kiki,
now it's going to be stuck in your head. Do you love me? Are you riding?
Never ever leave from beside me. Well, do you love me? Oh, do you love me?
I don't know the dance.
Are you riding? You never ever leave from beside me.
Yeah. I swear, bro. TikTok is
yeah, I can't get the new TikTok dances.
It's taking over. Yeah,
I can't get any of the TikTok dances. I just can't learn it. Yeah. Also, I don't think I would do too many in front. I just like am not that type of person where I would set up my camera and be like, you know, like it's just not my thing.
But you know what? I do love the ones that are like,
I'm scared, y'all.
And then they come in and they have like the outfit change. They're like, and then they like transition. I just love those. I love those TikToks. I'm like,
yeah, there's a lot of great
good,
TikToks.
y'all.
Yeah.
But that the Charlie whatever and Addison Rae people, like I just don't know how they spend all day just like.
Yeah. I have hot takes about everything, guys, but I definitely felt like with the whole Jimmy Fallon thing that came out last week. I was very much.
Jimmy Fallon?
I was very much.
It was.
You didn't hear about that?
What happened with Jimmy, man?
One of the TikTok girls came on
Addison
Jimmy Fallon
Rae,
and did a bunch of TikTok dances, and then someone tweeted out like, "Hey, she stole all these dances from like black girls," and posted like the same dances. And a lot of people were like, "Yo, you're doing this on like major networks, live TV. What the hell is this?" But I think that people don't get that that's what TikTok is. Everything on TikTok is stolen. Not just the dances, the jokes are stolen. The theme, bro. I've gone on there.
No, it's not that though. That's not the argument. The argument is that these people, like there are people out there that do create these dances and they don't get the attention. It's the Addison Rae girl and the Charlie, and then they're invited on TV to do these dances that like other people made that get no recognition whatsoever.
Well, that's because TikTok
20,000 times better
encourages them to not give credit to the original. It almost low-key encourages you not to. Because it's literally like you just
like original sound.
Exactly. And then you post your own caption. You don't say, I saw this from so-and-so. I'm taking that. I don't see that anywhere on TikTok.
I've seen a lot. I don't know about the dances and stuff like that because that's not like my TikTok, but I've seen it when people do other things. Like there's like other trends of like,
I've seen actual like jokes being like the same thing, but it's like a bigger creator and zero mention of the first guy who did it. And it's usually a person of color. I've seen it happen so many times. And obviously, I can't say much about it because I'm barely on TikTok. But it's one of those things that I'm like, this is an app where you can just steal whatever you want. Steal any kind of creativity and just give it to someone who's bigger. And it's just...
I
don't like that.
Yeah.
Death Row Industries, baby. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take your money and and rob you, and we have to take it. You know what I mean? That's TikTok right there. It's Chinese government.
That's what it is, bro. Yeah, China's taking over, bro.
I love it.
I'm not even tripping, bro. I'm not even tripping. I'm spitting facts.
Give me that Mandarin.
Speaking of facts, let's go to the big news, guys. I have the mug. For those people who don't know, I have a Knives Out mug.
That's beautiful.
This is
it's so good. I love it.
I rolls my coffee. Shout out to my girl, my cousin, who's in the movie. Marta.
Sabrina?
Marta Cabrera. Cabrera. Is my cousin. But
I remember when we saw it in theaters. When we saw it in theaters, we both turned to each other. We were like, "Hey!"
Cabrera.
Oh yeah, I did freak out.
Yeah.
Mrs. Cabrera. With his southern accent. But otherwise, Netflix dove into Knives Out and decided to buy up the sequels. Netflix be doing the most, spending the most. They decided to spend a lot of money on this. What do you guys think of it? I'm curious because now we do know for a fact RB3. I'm going to toss this straight to you because we do know for a fact that we're not going to see this in theaters.
Well, I mean, Netflix has been.
Yeah, but they do their like 2-week screening in LA and stuff like that. But most people won't be seeing this in theaters.
I don't know. I think if they wanted to make an avenue into a theatrical, if they wanted to make a theatrical play,
but it'll be like Marriage Story. It'll be like Irishman. It'll be like that.
Yeah, but I do think this is the biggest pre-existing property they've ever invested in terms of like having a cinematic property, I mean, obviously besides like the Marvel stuff, but that's TV. In terms of a film, there's never been a film thing that they've done like at this kind of scale before. That's like based on something. That's based on something that has a name, that has IP, that has market value. So I do think like they should feel at least somewhat incentivized to at least consider a theatrical release. Now, if they don't consider a theatrical release, it does leave me to question some things. Like in terms of what are they willing to experiment with? Are they going to try to go down the interactive route that they did with the Black Mirror thing? Obviously, Knives Out was paying big homage to Clue, which had the multiple endings. I could definitely see.
That'd be terrible.
I don't know. I mean, I could just see a Knives Out where there's.
I mean, people would love it, but it could be kind of wild.
An interactive Knives Out. I mean, I wouldn't
know, bro. They need you in the boardroom. I see it being like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, if they want to hire me, hey, and at least I really hope my guy producer Ram Bergman got paid. He was the producer on Knives Out. He's also the uncle of our great timestamp visual effects Guy Bergman. That's his uncle. So salute to Guy, salute to Ram, salute to them getting that money and getting another film made. So
and the thing is, like, I this gets me really excited. First of all, like, I love Rian Johnson as a filmmaker. I think a lot of us, even if you don't love The Last Jedi, you do understand a lot of what he's doing. I went to a screening where he talked about the film after we watched it, and it just made me understand his vision a lot more. And like, I love The Last Jedi. I do. I have a lot of fun with it. Do I think there's certain unnecessary parts? Sure. Nothing's perfect. But overall, it's not like it's like 4 hours of nothing. Like, I'm here for it. And Knives Out was incredible. I had such a blast seeing it around Thanksgiving, which I thought was an absolute perfect time. I think Netflix can totally release this in theaters. This was a hit in theaters, especially the time that it came out, because the whole family can enjoy it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, there's something in this for you to love. And I feel like if they kind of do that again, they could release it on Netflix, especially with the way like the world is. Who knows? People are upgrading their home theaters and things like that. Yeah, sure. Release it on Netflix. Also release it in theaters. People that want to see it like that. I just think there's a huge audience of people who are interested in future projects that include Benoit Blanc, because Daniel Craig was freaking hilarious. So I think as long as they get a really great cast that has a ton of chemistry the way they did with the last film, and they have a great story behind it, it will be something interesting. It's just so funny to me that everybody was like, Rian Johnson's career's dead. And then he comes out with like my favorite film in his entire career so far, and one that was just like so wildly successful. It just makes me really happy for him.
Yeah, if you go watch our Knives Out review, you guys know my thought on that. I mean, obviously, I just told you the mug. It's one of my favorite movies of that. I said I pitched to you guys. I don't know if you guys remember this when I said I think I could see an nom for it. Why not? Why not an Oscar nom for a movie that's fun? For a movie that's just
picture, yeah,
original and just different.
Yeah.
And it obviously didn't get that nomination, but I put it up there. I put it up in my top 10, and I thought it was up there for sure. I'm definitely excited for it, but go ahead, RP3.
I think Netflix can help give it that push too. I think Netflix is definitely a platform that could definitely.
I think, yes, but I feel like I really do think you guys are not seeing what Netflix might be seeing, which is this is the perfect movie for families to just sit at home and watch on their screen and enjoy the hell out of it during the holidays or something. And it is. It's that perfect movie where you're just going to be like watching this in your house, which is why I'm like, guys, they're definitely, yes, it'll be in theaters, still be the same as the other movies. Irishman. What was the other one by Alfonso Cuarón? Roma. Where it's in theaters for a week at a tiny theater, and maybe one theater in the whole country, and that's it. This is definitely an at-home viewing experience. As far as like the Netflix pitch to Rian Johnson is where they're like, yes, we're definitely going to put this to where more people will see it because it's the perfect at-home movie, right? That's like the big pitch that they're probably giving to Rian Johnson. And he was like, I'm not cool with that. And they're like, how about 500 million? 500 million. And he's like, I'm cool with it. Let's do it.
But part of me wonders how much of that deal is Lionsgate cut in on. Like, is Lionsgate, I mean, they produced the first Knives Out.
He probably has a lot of rights to it, though. He's a smart guy. He probably found a way to loophole his.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Majority rights.
Yeah, but I can also see some sort of agreement where I don't know. It might be still some sort of Lionsgate thing or something. I don't know. Because there probably is some sort of money involved in the IP.
Lionsgate definitely wants money.
Yeah, I know. We're talking corporations. I mean, we love our artists. I love artists. I love Ryan Johnson. But when it comes to the money, when it gets to the 100 millions, we ain't talking just creators. We talking like companies.
Lionsgate is in the game, bro. Right now. I mean, after Chaos Walking.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen it yet?
No.
I don't think anyone saw it. That's my point. It's all Lionsgate spent a lot of money on that, and they did not recover. Bro, where's my Hey Mitch movie, bro? I've been at a Hey Mitch movie since the last Hunger Games.
I know
I would have seen that. That would have made money.
And y'all been
but now it's too late for it.
Yeah,
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. They should have done it like the year after.
Yeah, people ain't really messing with Josh Hutcherson like they were back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's not Haymitch.
Haymitch was Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you want to see a young Haymitch movie? Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't that be sick, bro?
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. But I don't know
50,
if y'all
50 competitors in the games.
But I don't know if
his Hunger Games he fought against 50.
Yeah, he had a strong, and if you want to check out the meaning
RB3's like, I'm over this.
No, I was gonna say you want to check out the meaning of the Hunger Games podcast that we did. We had a really fun.
Bro, I'm a Hunger Games stan, man.
Kylie donated $5.
Yeah.
Okay, and for all this content, let's not all forget at one point we thought we weren't getting anything, so let's be grateful for everything we are getting. See how the young people say it's dope or slay or something. # Team Sabrina.
Hi.
I missed all of that.
I missed a lot of that. It went really quick.
Something grateful. I forgot. Can you read it out, RB?
Yeah, let me try it again. And again, $5 plus donation.
Or you can read it.
Read out loud. Yeah, I'm going to try and read it myself. Give me 1 second. It was a long one. Thank you, Kylie. Again, firstcut.live. Link is at the top of the description down below. Kylie said, "Hi, I'm all in for the content. Let's not all forget at one point we thought we weren't getting anything. So let's be grateful for everything we are getting, because how the young people say it is dope or slay or whatever. # Team Sabrina."
Yeah. I mean, I felt like Knives Out 2 was definitely pretty anticipated, though, at least. I don't know, in my opinion. In my Twitter feed was.
I think so.
So I feel like we were going to get it no matter what. It just the Netflix thing kind of added a different wrinkle into it.
Yeah, I mean, part of me makes me curious. Like, I think if we would have been waiting for Lionsgate, I think it might have been a while. I don't think Lionsgate has like a lot of disposable income to just make movies. I think with Netflix, we're probably going to see it a lot more accelerated. We're seeing that project probably get a lot more development. I personally, again, like I don't know what direction they're going to take. I personally would have loved to seen Daniel Craig investigate like another family. So it's just him like going family to family
might be.
Or whatever.
That's what they were kind of saying that it was going to be. They're saying nobody's returning except for Daniel Craig as of right now.
Well, I do. I wish he will bring like Ana de Armas. Yeah. Maybe she'll come along for the venture. Like, I need some assistance, or maybe Lakeith Stanfield. Maybe one of those two. I also wouldn't be opposed to. I know William Bibiani on Twitter said something like he wouldn't be opposed to like seeing the same movie just with different actors. I don't know why, but that idea kind of like also works for me a little bit as a sequel. I don't know. Because I think it is one of those movies that different actors could bring something like different to it. But
but I feel like that's a novel.
I think it was done way too perfectly. It was done. You can't have somebody in Toni Collette's role and do it better than she's like the Gwyneth Paltrow. It's such like it was like perfect timing for something like this to come on. Like Gwyneth Paltrow with her like goop stuff and everything. Flawless.
That was the best era. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go going forward with this. So.
Alrighty, guys. Any final movie subjects before we call it a night? Topics. News?
Are you planning on going to the movies anytime soon, or?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I was thinking about it for Mortal Kombat, but I'm like,
when does that come out?
I think
is that May?
Or April? Beginning of April.
29th, 28th.
Damn.
But I think my first one's going to be Black Widow. That's going to be my first. I think by July 9th. I mean, like, come on now, guys. We can do it July 9th, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like I've already got my first shot, so I'm a little more like.
You're like loosey goosey.
Nah, I'm not loosey. I'm not out on the streets ready to start
party, bro.
Yeah, I'm not ready to start tongue licking things yet, but I'm ready. I am ready to. I don't know. I feel like maybe after shot 2, I don't know. You know what I mean? I might have to go see Tenet for the third time.
You won't get a little crazy.
Yeah.
Is anybody even showing Tenet?
Tenet's still showing. Tenet's still showing all over LA. It's still showing. People got to go and see Tenet.
So any other news you guys want to touch on before we take off?
No, I was just, like we obviously watched like Godzilla versus Kong. It's cool that there's like the highest box office since the pandemic started. And we're kind of getting back into the swing of things. Exactly what RB3 was saying. People are getting comfortable to go back to the movies. And that is happening. More people are getting vaccinated. I unfortunately have no idea when I'm going to get vaccinated. But the second I am and it's safe, 100%. Like I will be going back. So whenever that is, I'm excited to do so. I really wish I could have seen it in theaters because I thought visually those visuals and colors just like stood out so much. That would have been so fun for that to be the first one I got to see back, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't say that because I was paid. I know some people on Twitter are like, y'all just liking Godzilla versus King Kong because they paid you guys. Well, so what? You ain't get pay us. Yeah, so I am going to spoil the movie on Twitter for y'all idiots because I'm getting the bag, son. That's right.
Not me, bro. I do not stand by first cut. First cut does not.
Cut the bag. Cut the bag, DC. Cut the bag, Warner Brothers.
Stand by this.
Yeah.
As the executive of First Cut.
Yeah, no. because we are sellouts and we will spoil everything for you idiots just because we want to.
Stop.
That's because we want to.
The second they ask us to sell out, we will say yes.
We are
I will not. Yes. I will not.
If we're not selling out, it's because they didn't ask us yet.
Exactly.
This is an individual statement by two individuals. This is not a First Cut stance.
Cut us that check.
Yeah, cut the check.
I'd be honest. Even when I do like events or things like that, I talk about it all the time. When you review a film,
I'm always gonna be honest, food. Man. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm 100% honest. Like they give you food and they give you drinks and things like that. They like butter you up in that way. I'm always 100% honest. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. Bro. It's not perfect, but what? It's two monsters fighting each other. I'm not like, oh, this is our tour cinema, it's a good popcorn flick.
Like I was gonna say, bro, Avengers Endgame or something like that.
Yeah,
like y'all go back and watch my tweets, bro. If y'all mad about me about how a monkey didn't have an umbrella, or that Godzilla fought King Kong. Yo, Godzilla.
Wait, you mean to tell me Godzilla was in this movie? Godzilla was in the movie?
Oh my God, he said it. I'm like, it's literally in the damn title, fam. Like, come on. Yeah. Either way, guys, with that, that was First Cut Live.
With that, no people who are mad are people who aren't getting paid. Just remember that. Always remember that. If you see people hating after we get paid doing something, it's because they didn't get paid doing it either. So just remember that, folks. That's how I'm going out. Hope y'all enjoy y'all Thursdays.
RB3, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3, and you can find me on the Rotten Tomatoes podcast. We're talking about Joker. We discussed if the Rotten Tomatoes score is right, 68%. I argued personally it's a little low. I probably would have went for like the 80s or something like that. But we discussed that. Really, really, really fun conversation. Be sure to check that out.
Sabrina.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SabrinaXMonica, where I will spoil Godzilla versus Kong before it's like 24 hours release for that check again. Also on Twitter at Sabrina on Film, where I don't do that. That one's a little bit more serious. And let's see, patreon.com/Sabrina on Film, Cocktails and Casting with Ben Goddard, SEN, all the different places. Check it out.
You can find me on Twitter at Squad Leader Race. I will be tweeting more about probably Invincible, probably Falcon and Winter Soldier.
We didn't even talk about Falcon and... Wait a minute! Wait, can we stop the music real quick for real?
Why?
Can we stop?
Bro, we're a week late. It's too late.
No, can I just say
it's
one
literally
thing?
coming out tonight.
Can I just say one thing?
Say it.
Let me say one thing. Falcon and Winter Soldier is the best Marvel show they've ever done. Best Marvel show they've ever done.
There's only been one.
I mean, I'm including. I'm including the Netflix shows too. I'm including the Netflix shows. Nobody's going to include those ever.
Those don't count, but okay.
I do include those, and I will say this is the best show they've ever done. Just 2 episodes in, dealing with themes of Americanism, what it means to be black in America, what it means to be an outcast in America. All these things they really tackled really well. I'm loving this show so far. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious where it's going to go, so we'll see tonight. But either way, guys, for the first crew, we're peacing out. Peace.